So, yeah, go for it.
Good. Welcome to Tanked Up
Well.
Podcasts. I'll wait till you've finished eating.
No, it's more of you're like good to go, and then Ben's like, "Good, welcome to Tanked Up." Like doesn't even pause between, and then Lucy has something else to say, and then starts eating. I was like, I can't. Like that's just too many things going on. Like that is the coldest of cold opens now.
Oh dear! All of our
Keep
video
going.
viewers will see a Lucy with a mouthful of stuff.
Yeah.
ASMR for the
Oh,
eyes.
yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, no. So, we're going to drink some beers, we're going to fucking talk about some games. What's going on this week? I'm going to open a beer, because I'm ready. I'm going to drink a beer that... Stop it! Oh, I'm Ben, that's Aadil, and that's Lucy, by the way.
Here we
I'm
go.
going to drink a beer from Good Chemistry
Give that a
Brewing.
sound.
We've all had this beer before, Kokomo Weekday, but it's new and shiny and in a can. And,
It's a nice can.
It's a nice can, it is. But the disappointing thing is Good Chemistry now putting their beers into cans, but 440ml cans. Obviously, they have dropped or had issue with the 660ml bottles. They weren't on the shelves for a little while. It's been a couple of months, if not a little bit longer, since I've seen them in any bottle shop. And this week they were back. They were here. So Kokomo Weekday, for people who may not have heard us talk about this beer before, is an IPA from Good Chemistry Brewing. It is 4.3%. It's right. I've got now. I have to refamiliarize myself with what they say and where they say it, because it's all in a slightly different place.
It's like X% hoppiness.
Yeah, so this is an IPA drenched in sunshine and saturated with tropical flavour. Pineapple, passion fruit and mango dominate, but this is all from the hops. Grab a glass and come mambo by the pool. It is 91% hoppiness, 21% maltiness, 30% bitterness, 43% sweetness. It contains, that's just random ingredients. Where are the hops and all those sorts of things? They're not on there. Okay,
No hops.
pairings. Palm trees, steel drums, yacht rock.
Sounds
There we
about
go.
right.
I'm going to crack this open. Lucy, what are you drinking?
Yeah, I'm drinking a beer from Polly's Brew Co, formerly Local Polly.
Nice.
It's a Columbus Simcoe India Pale Ale. It's 6.3%. Here we go. India Pale Ale, Columbus Simcoe Extra Pale, flaked oats, wheat. No, not really any flavour text. 440ml can. And yeah, it's an IPA from them with Columbus and Simcoe.
Nice. Is that? It's not a. It's not one of their like named beers where it's got a patterned front and their logo on the front. It's the one that says the words in massive bold across. Yeah. Cool. Aadil, what are you drinking?
I've got a Pamona Island beer.
Oh, nice.
It is and that's why I don't like cricket.
Ah.
There's no reason not
Double dry
to.
hopped pale. A tasty yellow treat. Prickly passion fruit, pine, and tangerine. You'll like it, you want it. Now concentrate on trucking right. Double dry hopped pale with Equinox PBC and Amarillo fermented with London 3. Drink fresh vegan.
It all in one sentence, or
I like to drink vegan.
No, it says. Oh wow, I'm really bad at it. Come on, focus. Come on, camera. Whatever. The drink fresh is that bit, and the vegan's that bit.
yeah,
The two blurs are
it's
beside
not
each other, but not sequential.
that's
In the
fair.
standard way we read.
Yes. So back to me, Kokomo Weekday from Good Chemistry. Smells lovely. This is the smaller version of the Kokomo Weekend, which is an absolutely massive double IPA from these guys. But yeah, we drank a lot of the Kokomo Weekday at my wedding last year because we got a lot of bottles in from them for that. And I think that was the last time I had a bottle was last year after the wedding, because I had a couple left over, and I think I brought one back to drink on the episode. So it's going to be very difficult to compare, can to glass bottle from a year ago. But it's got a nice smell to it. Those tropical fruits kicking through. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more mango on the nose than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got a little bit of sweetness behind it as well. So it's pretty amber in colour.
Yeah,
it's not sort of hazy. You can just see my thumb, or at least the form of my thumb behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not translucent, but it's pretty opaque, and it tastes lovely. You're getting all of those fruits.
I've definitely had the. Sorry, was that the weekday or the weekend?
The weekday, yeah, the smaller one.
Yeah, I'm sure I've had both of them. Yeah, it looks how I remember it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gosh,
and
the photography show going on back here.
And it tastes how I remember it as well. I don't know what the difference, if there is much between the bottle and the can, but it does taste how I remember it. That pineapple, that mango are coming through quite nicely. There's a slight, very, very slight hint of bitterness towards the end that does linger a little, but it is really those tropical fruit notes which do dominate this. And it's a nice light beer. What was it? 4.3%.
Yeah.
So
it's a touch over session.
Yeah, only just. But it's so. I mean, it's a very, very easy beer. And I think it is the mango that kind of that sticks out the most to me. Almost getting kind of subtle hints of sort of like soft stone fruits, and I think maybe that's just the mango, combined with the pineapple, rather than there being something like a peach or an apricot or something like that. So there's a fly doing my absolute head in as well. So yeah, it's very easy. It is how I remember it, and I'd be more than happy to have this again at my next wedding.
That caught me a bit off guard.
Which clearly is never going to happen. So, Lucy, we'll come back to you.
Yes, mine is very, very cloudy, opaque even. It's got a slightly dark orange colour to it. Head's dissipated, but I can't remember when I poured it, but I think the head was quite small anyway.
Yeah.
But aroma-wise, it smells like those dank, like tropical fruit flavours, like dank peach. Like peach that's been sitting around for a while. Yeah, so it smells really good.
Is it a bit sort of has it got that kind of that dank weediness to it? Is it more of a stewy sort of fruitiness?
Stewy, fruity. That's really nice. Yeah, it's not as fruity as you'd think from the aroma. It's got quite a heft of like bitterness to it, and maltiness. Fruit is let me have another taste.
I'll just go back in.
Yeah, it's a bit of fruit towards the middle, maybe a little bit on the end, but yeah, getting more bitterness than I would have thought. But
yeah.
I like bitter beers, so it's very nice. It's quite thin, it's quite light, but that's not a bad thing. It's 6.3%, so I would have thought it'd have a bit more viscosity and heaviness to the taste, but yeah, it's really easy drinking, and it's not an overwhelming bitterness. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna have to wait a bit before I take another sip. It's just that very nice, oh, this still tastes like a beer. It's not an absolute juice bomb, but it's not overwhelmingly bitter.
Yeah.
But the bitterness definitely shines through more so than the fruit. It's got a pininess to it as well. Yeah, that's probably from like it's Columbus and Simcoe, so yeah, it's really nice.
Nice. And it's going down.
You know what, this is going to go really good. I'm just like, let me Let me taste again for more tasting notes. No, it's just because I just want to drink it. That's the only reason why. This is really good. It just goes down so easy.
Nice, good. Aadil, how's the Pamona Island?
It's definitely got a sweet citrus nose with just a bit of pine. So just get a hint of sort of it's a touch bitter, but it's quite sweet. Again, some tropical fruits on that nose as well. Oh, sorry, a moth just flew by and distracted me mid quaff.
Insects everywhere tonight.
Yeah, apparently.
You helping it?
Right.
What are you doing?
Sorry, I killed a moth.
Oh,
monster.
Well, so our a flatmate, like over 6 months ago now, and she's not even here anymore. Had a sheepskin rug
Oh, I remember
in the
this,
drawer
yes.
underneath her bed, and she opened it up, and it was desecrated. It was just this cloud of moths, like the end times. Because she didn't know, she hadn't expected her room door wasn't closed, so they just immediately went everywhere. And so even now, months later, I'm just getting rid
Like
of them.
one of the
They're still popping
plagues.
up quite
Oh
often.
God.
Yeah. Anyways, that's why I don't like cricket. So yeah, you definitely can tell it was double dry hopped with the difference in taste and smell. I'm getting a lot more of that tangerine slash just sweet citrus. Yeah, it's much more closer to the citrus than the tropical fruit. I was sort of expecting, based on the nose, the tropical fruit would have been more forward. But it's really refreshing. I kind of wish it was a hotter day. Yes, because all the things it's doing is just make me want to bask.
Yeah.
It's quite light in the finish in the sense of texture. So maybe too wet or too dry. But it's that's where the pininess sort of starts to come through, is when everything else dissipates. You're like, oh yeah, there was this. I don't think it swoops up. I think it just was there steadily, but it was so weak compared that you wouldn't easily notice it. So on subsequent steps, I'm noticing, some resiny pininess that's just carrying all the way through, and it's only until everything else fades that you're like, oh, that's definitely there, and then it sort of fades off. But again, it's not a long finish either. It's a really well balanced, interesting pale ale, and I like that. It's sort of I guess I'm so used to having IPAs where the bitterness is just a little more forward, and so having this as a double dry pale ale, it just doesn't have that oomph. But that's where the pininess is taking that same role. It's a well designed beer because it still has that sort of extra at the end. It's just not what you're used to.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Nice, good. So,
beers all around.
hooray! Let's enjoy them and move on to our talking points for this week. I assume we've all come loaded with stuff because it's been a very busy week in the gaming world.
I said things. I don't know which things we're going to talk about.
That's fine. Lucy, coming to you first, mate.
Okay. I would like to play games, but just don't anymore. No.
That's it, you're done. You've grown out of them. It's all over.
They're all for babies anyway.
Yeah.
One thing I wish I'd played more of, but I will hopefully at some point this year, is Gears of War 5.
Oh yeah.
I can't really speak to much of it because I've only got three chapters in. I think there's 4 acts or something like that. But anyway, yeah, it's just Gears, which is still fantastic. It's every time a new Gears comes around, it's just I'm not sure if I need more Gears, but when I actually play it, it's yeah, I need more Gears. Just nothing else that feels like it. No third-person shooters ever come close. So. We'll be putting more time into that.
Is it shaping up to be you know, kind of a like a top 10 contender for the year, or is it just kind
It is
of,
so
you know,
weird. Who knows? Like,
well, yeah, it is. Is it more of a,
I
you know,
don't
is it
know.
more of the same really for Gears?
It's more. So far, I'm very early on, but it is more of the same. But
Mm.
that's still very good. But
Yeah.
and something that's very good could, yes, very well crack the top 10 this year. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see. Yeah, it's beautiful as well. I think it's probably the best looking game I've ever played. But
Wow.
Nice.
yeah, probably after Red Dead. Yeah, probably.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I should play Red Dead.
Don't. It's too long. Anyway.
Why haven't?
Yeah. So hopefully more Gears impressions coming soon. But there's probably not going to be much more I say about it other than, yeah, it's more Gears. I played that Link's Awakening remake.
Yeah.
Played and finished that.
Oh wow,
Ooh.
that is on my want list. So I'm
yeah,
super
it's.
curious to your thoughts.
Did you play the original Game Boy version?
I still own the original Game Boy version.
Yeah.
I found my Game Boy with that cartridge at my parents' place when I was in Canada in June.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that
Yeah.
photo from you. Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And just like that, the game is cool. If anyone's ever played a 2D Zelda game, you know what it is. And it's maybe it's because I played Link Between. Is it Link Between Worlds?
Yeah.
Yeah. Earlier this year, where it's like, I wouldn't say I was Zelda'd out, but it's just like maybe it just didn't have the impact that it would have if I had.
Well, it's also
Zelda games since
non-standard
a while.
because it's like based on a previous, like halfway through development, it became a Link game, and it doesn't. I mean, you don't have Ganon, right? Like you're collecting instruments, not Triforce parts. Like it's,
I mean, I have no affinity for any of those things anyway, so
fair.
yeah. But it's just like, if you ever played a Zelda game, it's like, yeah, this is, you know, the puzzles are great, the dungeons are great. It becomes, you know, at first it's like, yeah, it's plodding along, and then it just becomes impenetrable into like, oh, where do I go now? Like 2/3 of the way into the game, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna look up a guide because I cannot be bothered.
It's fair.
The 7th dungeon is absolute. It's rubbish. But the other,
When is that? What's
the penultimate one,
Yeah.
there's 8 in total.
It's okay if you don't.
It's yeah, I don't remember. I played it like 3 days ago, and I don't remember.
That's how
just
well
didn't
it's stuck with you.
Yeah, I just didn't like that dungeon. It was just like, it was too many. Okay, here are these bombable walls that are very hard to see, and it's like, oh, here's something where it's like, oh, you've never done this before, but you know, do it now with this, you know, very strange clue that doesn't, because it's kept, you know, its roots as a Game Boy game down to a fault. I think the text is probably all the same, so all the clues are still that stupid, you know. Oh, we try to localize this and make it, you know, kind of.
I think the clues weren't in the OG game. I think they were in the
Well, that's
DS
even worse. That's
remake.
even worse. I couldn't even imagine playing that originally then. Because it's like, oh, shoot this, you know, thing whilst doing a backflip or something like that. And it's like, when have I ever done this?
You want to know what the one thing I'm looking forward to is the quality of life difference. So the Game Boy had 2 buttons.
Yes.
Jumping is a skill based on having something equipped. Using your shield needs your shield equipped. Lifting things needs to have the bracer that allows you to lift things
This is
equipped.
much better.
Running, sprinting needs the boots equipped.
Nah, this is much better.
Yeah,
'Cause,
it's like
you know, one button
the fact
per
that the
thing.
Switch has a bunch of buttons and just auto maps these things is like, oh, because I remember, like, think of how those puzzles would have been when you're like
Absolutely
having to pause
awful.
mid-puzzle to switch a thing so that you can then hit B again, but B doesn't mean the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, stuff we put back then it just wouldn't fly now. So yeah, it's like all those different things are mapped to different buttons. Like, I think I'm just going to call it L1 because I don't know what it's called on the Switch. It's,
L1 and R1 are just L and R,
yeah.
and then it's
Okay.
Z, L, and ZR.
Cool. L2 and R2. Anyway,
Yeah.
L1 is sprint, R1 is shield, I believe, and then you just press A to pick up heavy things, and yeah, the items like the shovel, the arrows, the bombs, the magic powder cocaine dust that you throw at enemies.
Fire powder.
Those are all mapped to X and Y, and you can change those just like in
just like in the Game Boy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really cute looking. Like the style that, you know, should sell a lot of people. It's got that really nice diorama looking tilt shift, cutesy, toyetic like art style. It runs like ass though in certain.
Really?
In fact, in a lot of places, yeah. Like coming in and out of buildings and stuff like that. You notice the dip, and it's just like, this shouldn't be running this badly, but it does. But it's very noticeable, but it's you can get over it. I mean,
is it quite brief?
It's not...
Yeah, but it's like you notice it chugging, like it's noticeable. So I mean that's pretty bad. I mean,
Nintendo for a flagship game.
Yeah, but with something that it's not like Twitch gameplay. It's like you just slash your sword a few times and it doesn't really matter. It's not gonna impact like, oh, I didn't defeat this boss because the frame rate was dipping or something like that. So I wouldn't say it's negligible, but it doesn't affect the overall gameplay in something like this, or at least not for me anyway. But yeah, it's nice. I'm glad I purchased it. I'm glad I played it. It was nice to play something, you know, whilst I'm tired and just on the Switch, just laid in bed, just playing something happy, you know.
How long do you think it took to beat?
It's probably about 12 hours. Yeah, it's good, but yeah, it's like, I'd say don't ever touch the Game Boy one. If you want to go back, then obviously yeah, but like this is a very faithful recreation of what that is, because it's like I was looking up guides and it was like the Link's Awakening DX version, so and it still applied, everything's exactly the same. So yeah, for me who'd never experienced the original game, it was nice. It was nice seeing what it was, you know. So. And my final game for this week is called Wilmot's Warehouse, which is a organizational puzzle game. So it's basically this minimalistic 2D sorting game in effect. So basically you play as Wilmot, this little square man, and he's basically the curator of this warehouse, like this Amazon style warehouse, and it's going through all these years and all these quarters and, you know, financial quarters, and basically at the start of each day Wilmot has to sort and organize all these different products, which are represented by also square tiles. And they have like minimalistic abstract like pictures identifying them. So like, I don't know, a bar of soap or a spool or a umbrella or something like that. Boxes. Yeah, just icons on boxes. And the overall aim to the game is to organize these things, because in the end, overall, at the end of the game, you get 200 different items. Each day, you'll get 4 new items. So it starts off with, let's say 20 items. Can't remember the starting amount. But every day after that, you get 4 new items into your stock. So it's like, okay, I've got, you know, all these scissors over here. I need to organize them, and, you know, these baseball bats or whatever. And the more these things start coming in, the more you're going to have to start reshuffling and reorganizing your stock. It's basically just like, oh, let's test you, human. What way would you organize all this crap? And it's like, okay, I did it by color, let's say. That's how I did it. After so many, you know, days in. At first it was just like, yeah, just throw anything anywhere. It's like, I got the space. But when you start getting so many items and there is no space, you have to start, you know, organizing in a efficient manner. so you can actually navigate this warehouse, find things quickly, because there are these people. Once the shutter opens to the store, these people want these different items, and it's like you have to do it in ideally the shortest amount of time as possible. And it's like, okay, where did I put the pencils? Where did I put the staplers and stuff like that? Where did I put the elastic bands or whatever?
So you can might start stocking things by type together, so that stationery is in this corner.
Whatever works for you. Yeah, you could do it by stationery. I did it by color. I did it by Roy G. Biv, and and there's something that starts off as very therapeutic. It's like, oh, this is for the OCD in me, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm just putting all these items here, and yeah, here's your stock, here's your 10 socks, there you go, delivering them over. It just becomes hectic and frantic, and I think I had an anxiety nightmare over Wilmot's warehouse, just thinking, oh my god, I have no space in this warehouse, everything's a mess, I have no time to organize anything, because basically you're on a timer. Every day you're on a timer, so you get new stock in, the lorry comes in, you get new stock in, and they just push a whole load of crap into the warehouse. It's like, okay, you got 3 minutes to sort that out before the shutter opens, and then it's just frantic until the quarter ends, and it's like, okay, you can do, you're not timed, and you can do a full stock reorder, and you got time to organize things.
Yeah.
So it does have its downtime after the frantic few days of just sorting everything out. But yes, those days where it's just like, oh my god, I have too much shit.
That sounds not like what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, it gets a bit stressful, because basically I knew how the game ended, just because I was reading reviews and stuff like that. It's not anything like, oh whoa, that plot twist, Bioshock Infinite, but it's like, oh no, I need to help Wilmot. He's such a cheerful, happy guy. You can tell he loves doing his job. And every time, you don't get the stock, delivered on time, it's just a gut punch. And I was worried about Wilmot and his future. I was like, what if this inanimate square doesn't get these stock items to the shutter in time? What am I going to do? I'm going to be held responsible. It's all my fault. What am I doing in life? What is the meaning of life? And it becomes
the big questions.
Yes, it becomes stressful. But it's really a lot of fun. It's a really fun. It's a nice minimalistic puzzle game. It probably took me about 8 hours to complete, but I enjoyed all of those 8 hours, even the 8 hours I was stressing out. And what's great is that the quicker that you get the items to the shutter, you earn stars, and these stars you can buy upgrades. So you can buy upgrades like doing a dash, or clearing out more space in your warehouse, or you can get a map of the overall thing, or you can see what items are going to be needed before the whilst you're already arranging stock and stuff like that. So that's good. The fact that it has a gameplay loop, I get more stars, I need to upgrade, has all these different mechanics, but yeah, it's I would say it's good fun. But if you're one of those, if you're even more OCD than me in terms of organizing stuff, then
That's the wrong word.
Maybe just take a shot of morphine before you play
Jesus.
it. But yeah, it's really good. Check it out. I played it on Switch. I think it's on PC.
It is on
it is on PC.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a Steam review.
Okay.
This is a not recommended Steam review that I actually am curious about. So they said this game would have been awesome if not for the fact that it makes no difference whether you try hard or do nothing at all. There's no penalty for not delivering. There's no penalty for leaving incoming products where they are, letting them pile up on the roof. You can complete the game without delivering a single product. Is it really too much to ask for a game mode where it matters whether I'm present at the keyboard or not? There's no scorekeeping, so I can't play just to beat my own record either.
This human's broken, because this game taps into the part of the psyche where it's like, I need to organize this.
Yeah.
Yes. He's right in the fact that it's like, like towards the end of the game where it's like I had no room left, and I was freaking out the night before. Where it was like I did have this, sense of nihilistic relief where it's like, as if I just didn't or deliver these things on time. As if I got 0 stars. But then I couldn't afford the denim shorts for Wilmot.
Oh. So wait, but,
Which make absolutely no game difference.
but the stars are a measure of
Yeah, they
success.
gamify
So he's wrong,
it, yeah.
right? Like there is scorekeeping, it's star keeping.
Yeah, but he's right in the fact that there is no penalty. It's not like you get a game over screen if you don't deliver anything. It will still carry on over to the next day.
We get
But
stuck
I also had
behind
that-
all the boxes. Or
Yeah,
never
but it's
to
like how
emerge.
can you not care about Wilmot and his future?
And his
Because he
denim
clearly likes working at Amazon. He probably gets paid less than minimum wage
Oh,
and
definitely.
works 16 hours a day, but he loves
No
it.
healthcare. But I mean, I kind of like
Got to buy
a
your
game
own
which
uniform.
yeah, a
It's
game
very
where
dangerous.
they don't bother coding in like
Mm.
hard coding things because if you the people who would like this game will just do those things anyway.
Mm.
Yes.
So like it's just sort of skipping the pretense of like,
Yeah.
well, we could have spent more time coding some necessary border in a place, but like the why you would like our game is you the necessary borders in your brain. So why would I? bother
Yeah,
writing this?
exactly. Yeah, and that's why it works so well. It's down to who you are as an individual and like how you like to organize things and how much onus you put on yourself to have a efficient, system and a warehouse that you can actually navigate. So he's not wrong, but I don't know. It's like, as you say, like that's gaming for you. Like, why do people do the weird things they do in gaming? Like I don't know, just life sims, like The Sims.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of playing that is to not use the systems that they've provided you, but to make your own fun out of it. So
I mean,
Yeah.
this is why sandboxes.
yeah,
Slack.
sandbox
This
games.
is why
is-
open world and sandbox are often blend together because most of the time people like open worlds so they can just do things their own way.
Mhm.
I also have a second review, which I want to read just because it is the most polite negative review I've ever read.
Okay.
Not for me, but I'm sure the developer is really nice, and almost all the reviews are positive, so I don't want to be that guy who writes the one long negative review.
Mm.
Seems extremely overpriced. Thanks, Dr. Cat!
It gives me thinking that he's gonna go into like why he didn't like it.
Yeah.
No! No, just...
I'll be the one guy who
definitely
writes.
had the content
an
for a
extremely
really long
short-
negative review,
Yeah.
but I'm just gonna say,
Hmm.
maybe I wanted to pay less.
Cool, but no.
Helpful? No.
No.
Yeah.
How much is this game? Isn't it
It's
like
$11.39.
$11.39 on Steam? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've probably paid more than like $15.99 on.
Yeah, you probably
Switch. How
spent
did you buy it?
75 quid.
Yes. I think there's an expert mode. I'd like it if there was like an endless mode. Maybe they'll patch that in at a certain point, but that would be maybe not. Yeah, maybe once you've got all the items, have an endless mode. It's like not much more stuff comes in every day, and yeah, or a chilled out Zen mode. That would be nice.
Mm.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah, but fully
adding
recommend
something
it.
in for you to go back to.
Yeah, but it just came out of left wing. Didn't know anything prior to. It started getting a bit of buzz about it. I think it's published by Finji. Yeah, it's good fun.
Oh, I've lost the tab.
Wilmot's a sweetheart, so
Good.
look
Good.
after him.
Those last few comments do
Yeah,
lead me
GG.
on quite well to the game I've been playing, which I thought you might have touched as well. It's a game all about honking and being a fucking asshole.
Yeah, that bastard goose.
Because it was a game that I was expecting to kind of not blast through, but to play quite quickly, only to then find out once I'd finished it that whilst it is a quite a limited sort of map with different areas to go to. Once you finish the game, it then gives you a load more stuff that you can kind of do, and it opens up the entire map rather than having to move through each section.
What's it called? Sorry, Ben. I think
It's called
forgot.
Untitled Goose Game. Asshole Honker.
Asshole Honker is a much better name.
It's obviously it's all about being a goose and running amok through a little town, and it is really fun. It's ridiculous. That's what it is. It's absolutely absurd. Just the idea that you are some kind of ridiculous goose that just wants to cause mayhem and steal people's stuff and get them wet and knock them over and break their shit. Like, just all for one purpose, really. By the time you've gone full circle on the game, you realise that everything is only for one purpose, essentially.
Yeah.
Who's been into it yet?
And I
started
did.
it. Sorry, I was just wondering if Aadil had started it.
Yeah, I'm like
Oh.
done 3 or 4 areas.
I'm on the second area. I'm trying to break a broom.
Oh, that one's I really like how that one
The
turns
street.
out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm only like 2 levels in. Maybe because I'm playing this just because I'm tired, but I'm just like, I think I'm enjoying just doing the nonsense rather than figuring it out. It's
Yeah,
just like, because I've already looked up a guide, I'm just like, just tell me how to break the broom. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. And then I go do it. And it's like, I enjoy that part of it more.
It's such
If I
an
wanna-
enjoyable like the animation's so well done, and like the pranks you're doing, it's like, to be honest, like in one of the later levels, you're in some backyards and there's this old guy drinking tea, and he's right by a bell, and you can ring the bell, and it's giant, and it makes him spill his tea, and that's one of the things you have to do. But when I was like trying to figure out the other puzzles, I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go do the bell thing again.
It's like I don't. It is a puzzle game, but it's like I don't really care about the puzzles. If I want to work things out in a stealth game, I'll go play Hitman. The new map is out for that. Maybe I should play it. Anyway. Yeah, it's like I'm much enjoying, as you say, Aadil, like the aesthetic, the style, the animation, just the absurdity of it all, and the waddling and the
when he gets his wings out.
Yeah, it's just so well done. It's like the former game, Push Me Pull You. It's like, which was like a human centipede wrestling game. Like the controls were like, it was fun for like 10 minutes. It was the sticky human sounds and the aesthetic and everything like that which kept me going. So it's not always about the gameplay with their games, it's more like the charm of it and the great like mischievous music as well.
Absolutely. That works really well. It builds so well, especially when you're caught, and it will just throw in sort of
a jarring, I find it just Ape Out in the same way of like the pretty seamless orchestral moves signifying something's changed. So like an Ape Out, when you like smash someone, the cymbals go, but like because of the general in that, it's like this different paced jazz soundtracks on every level, but it's so well designed that pretty much whenever you push someone, there's clashes and like you never disrupt the music, you're being part of it. And I feel like the general soundscaping of this game is the same, where whatever you're doing, suddenly like it's being like the sound is evocative of what's going on the screen, but it's like never interrupting.
I'm just going to compare the Goose to Agent 47.
It's a good comparison to make, because in Hitman you can just go around being an arsehole.
Yeah, and they're both absurd as each other, aren't they? So
I inadvertently found out about so I know there's an extra stuff list because I bothered to lock the gardener out of his garden because I was being a dick, and then it showed me this new list where which was full of question marks that didn't cross it off. Is there more, or is that the?
So,
because now I have a list of things I don't know what they are.
Yeah, so when
that
you
are just like more things to do. Literally
yeah, so there are more things to do. So when you've done everything on the first set of lists for each area, you basically loop back round to the start, and you start again in the lake, and it comes up with a new list of a load of different things to then do in each of those areas.
Right.
I haven't attempted any of them yet. I've done my playthrough, so I put it down.
Yeah.
Because of the level of absurdity and the fun that I'm having with it, I may jump back in, in the next week or something, and just to see kind of whether the next few things are more difficult to try and work out than the original list, whether it's a difficulty kind of jump, or whether it is just more being a dick and waddling around and honking at people.
That's what it is.
I did notice a couple of weird buggy things. So there's like an area of effect of where the item and the person needs to be close together. So it took me ages to figure out how to get the gardener to put on his sun hat.
Yeah.
I stole his hat and I fucked it off right to the lake because I wanted to be a dick. But I went so far away that it just didn't. I went too quickly away, and I just like the conceptual hitbox was missed, and so then he just did all his tasks with no hat, and I was like, I don't know what to do, and I was wandering around. Finally, I grabbed the hat and was like, I'll just give him his hat back. And as soon as I brought it close, suddenly he had the speech bubble of, "Oh, I need a hat." And then I was like, okay, now I'll drop this one and he'll put the other one on. But it spent like a good 5-10 minutes trying to figure out, can I use the rake to push the sun hat? How do I get him to do this? And it was, I was just being too much of a goose. So if I just grabbed the hat and threw it 3 meters to the left, he would have done the sun hat immediately. But instead I was like, no, put that in the lake where it belongs. You never get this hat back.
Yeah, because I first of all took it to the lake and I realised that he was gonna run after me, and then I put it in the tall grass where I put his keys. Because when you put things in the tall grass, he forgets it. He's just like, where are they? He just forgets about it. And
there is a lot of that, being able to hide stuff around places which aren't on the aren't on the path of each of the characters. But yeah, I have noticed a couple of little bugs as well.
I think that plays into its charm. Though it's like there's not a lot of feedback from like, oh, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? Like sometimes, like in other games, it would we spoke about the music. It would give you a ding or a little feedback, video or audio visual feedback. But this doesn't do that, and it's got a little bit of jank. But I think that. I think it's just part of its charm.
The weirdest bug I had was getting in the pub level.
Oh, there's a pub.
Yeah. You have to solid snake in a box.
Yeah.
But I tripped over the box and I got stuck in it. But they still took me into the pub. But then I couldn't get out of the box.
Yeah.
So I was clipping in and out of the box, but because of that, I couldn't pick other things up, whatever. And I just had to continuously bash myself against things and try and get out of the box. It was really frustrating because I'm janking the fuck over here.
So what does help is in the pub level as well. The thing that stopped me is there's a part where you have to do something with tomatoes. And
I haven't finished that yet.
Towards the end of it, and the way you do that is every time when you complete your list, or when you've done 4 out of the 5 things on your list, a new item will appear, and that's kind of the one thing that will allow you to progress to the next area. Yeah. And this one that allows you to progress to the next area is quite finicky, and I was trying to get it right, and I just couldn't seem to get the distance right of when I needed to do the thing when the guy was there. And I'm like, there's something wrong with this. I just cannot work it out. So I had a look at a video, and realised that where I'm trying to get the guy hadn't sort of someone moved something, and it should shift something out of the way. And when they moved this thing, the thing never shifted. I'm trying to be a bit ambiguous in what I'm saying, so you don't quite pick up. But so it's the thing never shifted. So I was just hitting this sort of trying to get this guy to do this thing, and there's no way that it could have worked. And so I then had to reset the level. But the nice thing is, when you reset the level, everything that you've done is still crossed off your list.
Oh, so it's literally an unjanking.
Yeah, so you can basically just jump back to the beginning. Okay, yes, you may have to then get back into the pub grounds and do a few things to get back to that position, but you don't have to do everything all over again, which I thought was quite good for that. You know, for an issue of that kind, it would have been annoying to have to start again.
That's good. That's smart. I love the just the UI, how the like menu buttons are like English street signs.
Street signs, yeah, it's very good. Yeah.
I'm sure this game came about because, if I'm not mistaken, House are like are they Australian developer, and they just find like geese hilarious because they're only in the Northern Hemisphere, and they just find them fascinating.
Really?
I think that's the story.
They are from Melbourne, yeah.
Yeah, and because apparently there's no geese south of the equator.
Ah.
There's geese in Canada.
I did not know
Aren't geese on like the national sign, Canada? Are they the national animal?
No, that's the beaver.
Okay.
But
well, I just made it the geese.
But there is the Canada goose, which is the one you see in the geese you often see in Hyde Park.
Right. There we go. Untitled Goose Game.
I was hoping to maybe finish it, but then I kind of was okay with being more of a completionist. Yeah, like I normally push against these things, but actually I got. So at one point you go through a house and a door, and then I thought I was locked out, but then I found out I could open gates and go back to the beginning because I hadn't finished all the things, but I was just like, oh, because in the first unlocked area you can just walk back through the. So I was like, I'll just check this out, but I'm gonna finish this other thing. I was like, oh fuck, I'm stuck. And it's like, oh, I can't. So then I did the loop back and made sure I did all the things. I mean, I like that it makes you do a handful of them, but you don't have to do them all, so you can just keep going.
Yeah.
But some of them I just didn't like. It took forever to figure out.
Yeah.
And they're not obvious.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing for me. Yeah. They're not obvious, and the feedback for some of them, it's just like, not sure if I'm doing this right or what, you know. And maybe it's because like I just can't be bothered, and maybe if I had more rest, I would be like, I think I was playing last night.
Yeah, I think as a puzzle game, that's kind of where it falls down a little bit. You know, normally you'd be built up in certain ways of understanding how a certain level works or what you need to do in those sorts of things. But there's one level where you're jumping between two gardens, and a lot of the stuff relates to having to jump between two gardens, which you've never had to have done previously. You haven't had to have kind of like switched items over into different areas and done certain things and tried to get other characters to. And I was like, I just don't get what I meant to do. How do I get back over? How can I move between them easily enough? And that one's the one that sort of took me the longest, I think. But even with that, I probably have only played for 2 hours. Maybe?
That's the kind of length I want. Yeah.
That garden one I didn't like because once I figured out how to do things, like especially when you were like the dude reading the paper just had eagle eyes. So it's like you're reading the paper, I should be able to walk by. Nope, you fucked me. And also the way you've discovered this, you're now undoing the last 3 moves I've successfully done. Like I felt like that was just not a good loop because if he follows you, he will see the other things. 5 of them at once, and then his next 5 minutes of gameplay will be just picking those things up and getting rid of them. I'm just like, I guess I'm redoing all this thing, and that's just not fun.
Yeah.
I think it's very much. I take probably more joy of doing the things and figuring them out.
Yeah,
and so that's why I'm happy to look at Games Radar, who have a very good written guide, because written guides are few and far between. So usually you have to hop on YouTube, and
Mm.
who wants to do that nowadays? But yeah, the written guide on Games Radar is pretty good. So
Yeah, I think that might have been the one that I glanced at as well,
yeah.
which just lists each of the points, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah. It's
The
very
one
good.
that took me the longest was the little boy in the phone booth.
Oh,
Oh, you
really?
didn't know how to get him into the phone booth.
Yeah,
I'm figuring out. I was trying to figure out how to get his damn glasses off, but now
Yeah, that's the one
that's
that's what took me the longest, getting his
Yeah.
glasses
Oh no,
off.
I figured that one out reasonably well. Also, I think he might be the most maligned character.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like if you think about the things you do, most of it's like I'm fucking with your shit. It's like I'm tripping you, I'm stealing your glasses, I'm scaring you to.
Scaring you, yeah.
Yeah, I'm bankrupting you by making you buy your.
Yeah,
own
I'm making you buy your own toy.
Yeah.
Look at that poor little boy.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
he does get a lot of shit from
Yeah,
those.
so I never chased him enough such that he seemed like he was
That was
going
the
in that
first thing I
direction.
did. I
Yeah.
was like, you look like a dweeb. Time to honk at you.
Hey, dweeb. Honk.
Yeah.
Oh, should we have another beer?
Yeah. Go
You
on.
too can. I am still drinking mine, and I don't have a beer. So there you go.
I have a
That's
small
fair
glass.
enough, Luce.
Mm.
So,
I may have had one, but I'm too tired to look for one, and in the fridge, so
that's fair.
yeah.
That's very fair. It was Bristol Beer Week last week. So,
Was it?
yes,
did not
it
know that.
was. I didn't see.
I don't even know what that
there was,
means.
There was
What
a
is
few.
Bristol Beer Week?
There was a few open doors events at breweries and stuff where they'd get people to come in. There was a few sort of. I think Wiper and True did a couple of like competitions where you could enter, and the winners got to go in and brew beer for the day with them.
That's
You know,
cool.
things like that, where they were just trying to get the sort of like the community involved a little bit more and sort of widen their reach to people and allow them to come in the breweries and things. But because of that, I thought I'd have two Bristol beers this week. So I've had the Kokomo Weekday from Good Chemistry, and I'm having from Handed Giant Blind Shadow,
Oh,
which
that's
is
a really cute can.
single origin coffee stout.
Ah,
Oh, I'm
like
super
Casper
jealous.
Yeah,
and a boo.
I've enjoyed a lot of stouts from Handed Giant over the past few months. I know they're so good at doing pale ales and things. So yeah, they've been making some really good stouts. So I really wanted to try this one. So it is it's 4%. It has got Brownling Cross and Cascade. The coffee in it is Kenya Handed Gab, roasted by James Gormer, and it's got yeast SO4.
Neat.
Is that free? Ah, that's 440. Sorry. I thought
Yeah,
it
it's
was
440.
330.
Yes,
I was like,
and that's it. That's
oh,
all I'm
600
getting.
days something.
Cool.
Aadil, what's your second beer?
It might have, in retrospect, maybe it should have been my first. But it is Hickey the Rake by Wylam.
Oh yeah,
A Limonada Pale.
Nice.
Why is my focus not working? Anyway, it's a lovely looking can. As
very
they
muted
usually-
in its colours.
Yeah, it's a very autumnal can. It's 4.2%. It is. Its hops are Chinook BBC and Mosaic BBC. It has barley and wheat, and that is about it.
We seem to be getting
Water,
worse
yes.
with our with the information that's coming out on our cans, really, don't we?
I think it's because the new canning techniques give such an artistic license that people are just going for these like full label, like this. Even though it's muted, it's like got a lot going on.
Yeah.
But then you're hiring graphic designers to make a fancy looking thing. Why wouldn't you want to show off the fancy looking thing?
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Pale.
Nice. Very, very pale.
Oh, yeah.
Super
That's
clear.
Yeah, and it's
Did you
also
say that was like a Pilsner or lager or
no,
something?
it's a limonada pale.
It
So
looks
I
like
assume
a
it's got
lager.
really light pale ale with I'm guessing some sort of lemon hints. It's also quite yellow,
That's a
very
lager.
effervescent. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, they definitely put the wrong beer in that can.
Going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. That's the lager. He's drinking out of lager glass. That's
No,
fine.
to be honest, it kind of smells like cleaner. Like not in an actually cleaner way, but like I mean, it's so lemony. I know I've
Yeah.
skipped over you, but I just
That's fine.
started talking about it.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of. It's mostly lemon. A little bit of another sort of hoppy bitterness in the nose. Can't quite tell what the bittering is, but it's just not citrus.
Mm.
And like my brain was like pine. I'm like, no, that's just because you said pine on the phone, motherfucker. Like, calm down.
It's more like Sif or Sillet Bang or.
Holy crap!
All those things you
I
put in
literally
your car.
opened my eyes. It
You
is
see
so
clearly
light.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely should have had this first.
Mm.
I just it's much more delicate than the last one, so I may say something by the end of this one when the rest of the other beer is gone.
Yeah, that's fair.
Super
Just tainted
refreshing.
slightly, perhaps.
It's the mouthfeel is also. I mean, you saw the carbonation. The mouthfeel is also quite sort of large, even though the taste is quite light, lemony. Again, even the bitter, whatever class of bitter taste that I can't quite tell is really light, and also doesn't last long. So the finish is like I'm gonna drink this really quickly because there's just nothing left after 20 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, but not in like a terrible way, but just like okay.
Time for more.
Mm.
I will say that I think the bitterness and the really, again, not fake lemon, but like very lemon-based citrus. And the bitter, it does. I wish I hadn't mentioned cleaners before because there is this like it does remind me of lemon-scented cleaners, and that like and it's like fine, like oh this tastes good, and then my brain's like cleaner, and then I'm like I don't like this, and it's like okay, psychological battle going on, but you can't really avoid that with something that is solely based on lemons. But it's super refreshing.
Do they put actual lemons in cleaner?
In cleaner?
Or is it lemon scent?
Oh no, it's a lemon ester. I'm pretty sure in cleaner.
How do they make the lemon scent?
We'll find out on next week's science segment.
On how
I'm assuming it's
made?
like fake banana. Like there's just a chemical that has.
Possibly. Yeah.
I could be wrong.
They get children to squeeze lemons into the bottle, every single bottle.
Push down on them.
Yeah. What I will say is it's clearly lemon, but it's not like a lemony beer. I guess.
I can just imagine like a factory full of children, just like, like how they make wine with their feet.
Oh yeah,
Children running over lemons.
That's amazing.
I'm so
Yeah, so-
tired.
So this is clearly lemony, but it's not overtly lemony. It's just the only like the strong non-standard beer taste is lemon, and it's light and it's delicate. It's almost like a floral citrus. It's not it's not lemon zest by any means, right? It's just yeah. Anyway, how about you, Ben? It seems like the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a stout. It's really, really black. It's not sort of edging even towards sort of like a brown. It is just absolute black. A little bit of a slightly brown head to it, not a huge amount, but the nose and the flavour match up very, very well. You get the coffee straight away from this, and
Matching glasses.
yes, and on sipping, that coffee comes in straight away. A little hint of bitterness to it. It's not massive, but there is a little hint of bitterness, and it's kind of. It is sort of what you would expect from from a ground coffee bean. It's not like instant coffee. This is kind of the flavour and the bitterness that you get from a very well made coffee. It's kind of obviously it's a little bit lighter. It has much more of a sort of almost an oily kind of resinous texture to it. It's almost it's not quite that syrup that you would think of as a for a stout, but it was only very light, wasn't it? It's only 4%, so it doesn't quite get down to the the thin sort of low percentage stouts that we've had before.
Yeah.
It does have a little bit of viscosity to it, which is really nice, and just makes it very, very easy to just sip back and unlock those coffee flavors. But it is very much they call it a single origin coffee stout. I assume that means that there's only one type of coffee used in this, and that's it. I don't know what they mean by single origin. I'm only guessing.
Single origin means like all of the beans came from the same lot, from the same plant, coffee.
Right, okay. So they brought one big bag of beans,
Yeah.
and that's all they've used. Right, that's fine. Because it's kind of...
It's the
beer,
single malt of the coffee world, right?
Yeah. And so that's all this beer kind of does. It hits you with that coffee, which is nice, gives you a little bit of bitterness towards the end, and that's it. It's kind of over within 30 seconds of that, and you're reaching for it again to get something from it. Doesn't really have any other kind of notes. There's no sort of chocolatey note in there at all, but it's very, very, very easy, and it's a pretty solid stout, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just really nice, especially on a miserable evening.
Does it have any like licorice? Like the way you were describing it sounded. Does it have like licorice, like kind of?
Yeah. So there may be just a sort of like an underlying flavour, kind of like running through. Yeah, I can see that. Now you've mentioned it, I can definitely see that. That it just sort of sits underneath and kind of almost makes me. It's a little dry. So even then, saying licorice kind of makes my mouth dry up just that little bit more as well, and me sort of think about it just that little bit. Yeah, licorice does seem to be present, but kind of just under that coffee flavour, just backing it up maybe. So
On the topic of beers, my new thing, well, not a new thing, but at work, like people who sit around me, like they don't drink. The two I sit around.
Yeah.
I was just talking about all these different beers. Like, how are they saying, oh, we like coffee? And I was like, had a really nice coffee imperial stout. And they were like, ugh. I was like, oh, bless them. They just don't know. There was another one. I said that I had a mango lassi beer. And it was amazing. And they were like,
Oh, yeah.
ugh. I was like, it's incredible. Beer's great. But it must sound weird, like, if you're not a beer drinker. You had what in your beer? You had Chipotle in your beer?
Oh my god, yeah. But that's just people who don't know what Chipotle is, because it can be put in almost anything.
Yeah.
Maybe not on top of a fried egg, but definitely in the scrambled egg, for example.
Why can't you put it on top of a fried egg? That'd be fine.
Yeah, I think it just doesn't. I guess it's definitely a spice that's best mixed in, I think is probably what my brain is saying, rather than just tossed on top.
And like when I, make my toast, cover my toast in Worcester sauce, and then put my eggs on top.
Yeah, but that's egg on toast. I was speaking just with fried egg. You're adding more ingredients and then trying to
fried egg.
Yeah,
I made
just a fried egg.
You have to have
well, no,
fried-
technically, I have a fried egg with a side of fried egg.
I
definitely went through a period where I
fried
just
egg,
fried a
like
couple eggs
bacon and
almost every.
sausages. But I used to have like fried egg and just slice of toast for breakfast.
Yeah,
I don't buy bread often enough, so I just stopped having the toast unless I was at a restaurant.
You just
So
had
I
a
got
fried
used
egg.
to, like just the egg.
Did you have like any chives on it or anything like that? Just the egg.
I used to, it's like
Chives, yeah.
Chives,
yeah. I often would make scrambles so that I could put other things in more easily. But if I'm just frying an egg, it's just freshly ground pepper, freshly ground salt.
There was no food in the house yesterday, and I made a pad thai with just
nice.
vegetarian, just veggies and egg. Happy days.
Nice.
I don't know. Pad thai is one of those things I keep meaning to.
It's very simple. You just throw shit in a wok and fry. It's done.
I mean, that's just stir fries in general.
Yeah.
I think some of that shit has to be a specific type of ingredient to make it qualify as pad thai.
Yeah, well, it was my version of pad thai, which didn't have all the ingredients in it. I just like to sound fancy.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. There was a stir fry with eggs in it.
Hey.
But that doesn't sound fancy.
It doesn't. Shall we move on then to our final topic of the night?
Talked about geese and eggs.
Yeah, exactly. That led on quite well.
Did anyone play
Aadil.
that KFC simulator?
Right. That would have led on even better, wouldn't it? But
Yeah.
I haven't managed to play it yet.
We will, though.
Right. I can't remember the things. I've now blanked, and now I'm. How graphic does that game get?
What's its name? The finger licking.
It's
dating sim or something.
Colonels,
it is.
Yeah.
I love you, Colonel Sanders. A finger licking good dating simulator.
And it's free on Steam, so everyone should play that.
It is on my list.
Oh, that's a bad name
It's
for
the
a game.
finger licking, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
I was searching KFC.
I will say,
That's what I was searching. I couldn't find it. Typing in
I was
KFC.
like, oh, no.
yeah, it's weird that it's called Colonel Sanders with no KFC.
Yeah. And then I started searching finger licking in Steam. I was like, what am I doing with my life? This is a bad way. This is a bad rabbit hole.
I mean, some of the negative reviews are real choice because no one's watched or played it yet. We should probably hold off on that till next week.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good idea.
I will just say one of them is a one by username Wario, and it just says spicy. I'm like, yep, Wario wins the internet yet again.
Brilliant.
No,
Wario
here's
has
mine.
6
I've got a
products
better
in his
one.
account.
I've got a better one. It's a zinger. My first
Definitely don't want the search history finger licking coming up in any way though. So
Yikes.
maybe type in Colonel Sanders if you want to find it.
Yeah. Right. So I had brought things up. Now do I remember what they are? Oh, right. I did want to talk about Frogwares, and their publisher of the last little while, who is Focus Home Interactive. So they put out a tweet, which was a letter, saying, I'll quickly read it. This letter is addressed to everyone who's interested in video game industry and wants to take a look at what's happening behind the curtain. We are Frogwares. We develop Sherlock Holmes games. Skip down. But today, that is under threat. Some of our games are being removed from Sony's and Microsoft's storefronts. Still learn how to read. Storefronts. And even maybe from Steam. The list includes our big titles. Why? Because Focus Home Interactive, the licensee or publisher that was in charge of commercializing these games on these platforms, refuses to transfer the title IDs to us, the creators and IP owners of those titles, even though our publishing and distribution agreement has ended. Because according to their official statement sent to us only last week, Focus put in place a policy in accordance with which they will not transfer any title, the content ID or title ID, belonging to any developer which has removed all of their games from the Focus catalog. A policy that is not in any of our previous or existing contracts with Focus and has never been applied to us in the past. As it stands right now, the only game left is Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment because it has until September 29th. It's possible it'll be taken down at that day or earlier. We'll also lose all our wish lists on those store pages. As the creators and IP owners of these games, we have no control and no say in this decision of Focus Home has left us voiceless. And I usually when we talk about these things, it's like, oh, Atari's lost a Marvel license, so you can't buy Ultimate Alliance or the Deadpool game for like a few years.
Yeah.
But this is really fucked up. This is your contract ended, but because you didn't continue with us, we're keeping your property.
Yeah, because isn't Sherlock Holmes is that public domain now? I don't know.
yeah,
I
Sherlock
don't
Holmes
know.
is in public domain phrase.
Yeah, so it's not even like a license, like Deadpool, where it's like, okay, we're not going to renew
Oh no,
the
but
license.
so this is the dev pub relationship, right? So
Yeah. So I'm saying it's even worse in that way, where it's like,
But
know-
I assume this isn't sort of talking about like ownership of a license or ownership of the IP. This is more to do with the product that has been listed.
yeah,
So
this is literally this is the like the barcode of it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's why
exactly.
I'm saying it's so bad. It's not
Yeah.
like even like
So if Frogwares, if they still have the final build of these games,
They can
I
relist them.
assume they can get them relisted. But do they then have to go through all of the processes of certification because it's a new product and all of those sorts of things? Because the ID hasn't been, as they say, the ID hasn't been transferred over from Focus Home. Yeah, it's a very odd situation. You know, I can understand it when, you know, a publisher owns an IP and they've had a developer make it, and the developer doesn't take an IP kind of with them if they were to go somewhere else and those sorts of things. But this is a very odd situation. It's not something I've ever come across or heard of before.
I haven't heard of it either. I mean, and maybe we've just been naive, but like again, if you read the new policy that's fucking them up, right, is Focus has put in place a policy in accordance with which they will not transfer any title, the content ID or title ID belonging to any developer which has removed all of their games from the Focus catalog. Basically, what we're saying is, if you don't want, we won't give you your shit back if you stop using us as a developer or a publisher. And that's incredibly, like, that's so
gross.
dangerous.
That's gross, though.
It's super gross. And it's like totally nonsensical, right? Like, at no point are they denying that, like, that. Well, first of all, that entire like new policy is obviously against the contracts that they have, because these contracts are standardly will say at the end of the contract you revert all rights to blah 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 to me, and they're like, well, our new policies, we just won't give it back, but also we don't have the rights to sell it, so we're going to let it expire. And like they said, like the wish lists and stuff really matter, right? And even if they like try to come back and like put everything on sale, no one who has been tracking these games will find it again, because they're going to have to go to Steam and ask for new entries, right?
And that wish list conversion rate it's been shown to be pretty critical.
Yeah.
For, you know, like especially indie developers. So, and these Sherlock Holmes games are pretty decent as well. Which is even more of a shame. So.
Yeah, and it's I just jumped onto Twitter to see if Focus Home put out a statement or anything like that. But on Twitter, if they haven't tweeted about it. I know the tweet from Frogwares is only a few hours old, isn't it? It's only maybe, I don't know, you know, lunchtime-ish today that this has kind of sort of come to light. Or so, you know, we haven't had some kind of response from Focus Home, if there is going to be one to show that sort of side of things. But it's kind of it's one of those where you just think, well, if it's not to do with ownership of the property, it's one of these weird, like, grey areas, I guess, that hasn't ever kind of, or at least publicly, to our knowledge, hasn't ever kind of been tested before. And anyone that this has maybe happened to before has just kind of gone, yeah, all right, sure, you're doing this on a product which is, you know, so many years old or something, so it doesn't really matter anymore. Or, you know, it hasn't been this sort of gross almost, I suppose. It just seems that it just seems an odd move to make, really odd move to make. You know, these games aren't going to be listed anymore, so no one's going to make money.
That's what I'm saying.
Of them.
Yeah, it just sounds it sounds very skeevy. It's like, oh, if we can't make money off this, then neither can you.
Then, like, no one can. Yeah.
They made the game. Like, forget, like, you know, the whole financial thing about it. It's like, they made the game. You know, it's like,
Yeah, you're a publisher. Like,
yeah, you had minimal input. These people shed blood, sweat, and tears over this, you know, this product, and yeah, it's just it's weird because yeah, like the whole Telltale thing, you see, yeah, that company went under, and like Deadpool, like we don't want to renew the license ever, so
yeah, I mean, those
like
things.
the Ninja Turtles game, stuff like that. But this is just very strange, very, very.
Yeah, I
crappy.
mean, it's like spiteful and clearly, if not fully illegal, very close to illegal. And the fact that that's their generic policy that they're invoking, right? Like,
Who are these? Why would anyone sign up?
I mean, I'm really glad that they pushed this out there because I
Yeah.
hope that other developers won't, or other devs just won't go with them. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather cut ties now
the
and deal with that fucking thing than be stuck with people like this forever, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And it's like Focus Home don't seem like they're a very middle tier, like publisher, you know, AA titles that they publish, and it's like everyone, like, yeah, they do good work. They brought this whole tier that fell out, you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. They've revived it and brought it back to life, and it's like
they've been building
they had
really
a
well
lot
over
of
the last
goodwill.
couple of years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oof.
Yeah,
just
Don't sign contracts if you don't know
well, that's the
terms
thing.
and conditions.
The contracts. This isn't in the contracts. This is why it's super troubling, right?
Because they just thrown this amendment in.
Yeah.
Well, they've just said this is our new policy, but are not respecting the contracts. Like, this is why I think it's probably illegal, right? Because their contract will be breached if the
unless there's something in the, unless there's something in the contract which says we at any time are able to change policy or to insert some kind, you know, I can't imagine that they have just been able to throw this in without understanding the legal ramifications of the contracts that they have with everyone that they have contracts with, because this can't obviously just be with Frogwares. I imagine that this is new policy across the board with everyone that they deal with. So suddenly, you know, they could just like delist. I mean, they're not going to because the Surge 2 has just come out, but suddenly the Surge could just disappear from every thing because they're out of contract with the developer and they're not going back with them. So just they keep the ID and that's it. It's disappeared, and that developer then has to find someone else or to try and distribute it themselves. So it just seems it's just a very odd move. And having a quick search on Twitter for anything, it's just you know, at the moment it's just reactions more than any kind of further evidence or kind of like hard fact from any point of view, rather than what Frogwares has said. So,
but they published a Plague Tale.
They did, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we got code from them, or we got code for Greedfall. Yeah. We just got code for the Surge 2 as well, which Lee is playing through. So
but it's like, I mean, if this is left the way it is, I think kind of feel like we have to like say we're not dealing with you anymore because the way you treat devs.
Well, I mean, it was like the initial thought that ran through my mind. I mean, I've been doing some research for an article all about like responsible gaming, and looking at developers who, you know, don't have crunch, who pay their staff well, who don't have history of, you know, awful managers and all of these sorts of things. And, you know, there's part of what I've been writing up about my shift away from physical release more to digital, because I'm not then, you know, adding to manufacturing costs and all these sorts of things. And this kind of just suddenly makes me think, well, if this is the way that you kind of act with developers, this is shitty, and it's not something that I kind of want to contribute towards. So it's kind of, but I'm very much like, I don't like to react unless I have a full picture from all sides. So I think I'll hold off on my pure outrage until we've had something. At least.
Like I said, it's a if we learn it is the way it seems the case, then it seems like this is the type of thing that you want to push back against.
We'll find out more. Wait until more details are released, but it doesn't paint, them as a publisher in a good light. But everyone will be like, but that EA, they're the best.
Do not get me started. The whataboutism in games is so bad.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I'm just wondering as well whether it's going to be a case of we'll we don't really have a working day anymore, with on Twitter and with the internet and things. But I'm just wondering, kind of, I didn't know Focus Home Interactive are a Paris-based publisher, and Frogwares are in the Ukraine. So little bit of a time difference, not much, a case of an hour or two between when kind of things go up. But I would imagine that Focus Home had time to
They probably have a statement ready, waiting for the first developer to come out with this. They probably got that in a vault somewhere. Just dust it off.
It's just some managers just sat there waiting, just trying to find that email draft that he's got somewhere. It's like, oh, it's somewhere, it's here, it's here. 2 keys,
twist them at the same time, and open up the.
A big table rises from the floor with all of the drafts, all handwritten.
The apologies, and EA's got a whole the size of Fort Knox.
Just a vault full of them.
Full of apologies
written to each individual consumer, ready to send out. Absolutely. This is probably something that we'll return to, isn't it? When more news kind of becomes available, if there is some kind of resolution, or if we're having to tell people to stick away from certain publishers because of bad behaviour. But something more will be said about this, I would imagine, in the next few weeks by us. It seems like a good place to finish for the week. We've all had beers. Lucy, your choice this week is pretty easy.
Yeah, it was a very good beer. It was what I'd like to call a no-nonsense beer. It was, slight bit of fruitiness at the start. Just nice pack of bitterness at the end. Yeah, it was thin, it was light, it was easy drinking, hoppy, ticked all the boxes. Very good beer. Brew Co's Columbus Simcoe IPA. Yeah, pick it up.
Nice. And Polly's making some absolutely outstanding beer.
Polly. Oh, you should have said Cracker.
Cracking.
Yeah. I thought he was going with it, but
mate, I missed it.
Don't worry, I laid you up. There you go.
Yeah. Aadil, how about you?
I had beers. I liked beers.
Good.
I do think that the Wylam.
Yeah.
Willem's the Defoe. The Wylam was interesting and good, and I think I probably did a disservice from having it second.
Sure.
But actually, the Pamona Island, and that's why I don't like Cricket DDH Pale, was just a really excellent beer. What I liked was, even though it was double dry hop, had a couple other hops going on. It had sort of 2 main flavors that sort of took turns and rounded each other out in a really good way. And it wasn't crowding it out. It was just a nice, simple, which I think is what I want from when I pick a fancier version of a pale versus a fancier version of an IPA, where an IPA I kind of want those weird layers and these weird moves because it's more complicated. We've got used to IPAs doing weird things, but if I'm reaching for a pale, I want it to definitely not be a pale or an IPA pretending to be a pale.
Yeah. I really like this style of their cans. It's I love that minimalistic style. It's I'd put that on a t-shirt.
Right, an icon and just a brick of text.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love posters that are like that. It's it reminds me of, is it Crack? CR/AK?
Yeah.
Is it their beers that are sort of like that? Just really minimalistic. Where are they from? Like Spain or something?
Spain,
Anyway.
weren't they?
But yeah, so
Spain, yeah.
it's definitely that one. Though I really enjoyed the Wylam as well.
Italy.
Hmm?
Maybe it's Italy.
Oh, possibly. I'll look there.
I would say it really quietly so I wouldn't interrupt what you were saying.
Yeah, no, that just made it worse. Because I'm like, wait, what did he say? Does it matter? Oh my god, what am I? Crap! I'm screwing everything up, and they're all gonna laugh at me.
Oh, please continue.
how about-
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I said my
Italy.
thing. Yeah, it's a really good beer, and like we've said over the past couple of weeks, Pamona Island just is like a really solid brewery.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see them, at least in the bottle shops I go to in Bristol, seeing them sort of pop up more often. It's really nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
How about you, Ben?
I think it's quite an easy one for me this week. The Blind Shadow from Handed Giant is a nice coffee stout. It's doing one thing. It's doing one thing very well. I don't think I need any more than I have had of it. I'm still sat here with a very small amount in my glass. That's kind of I'm happy to sort of sit with and let it kind of linger and just enjoy for the next 5 minutes or so. The Kokomo Weekday is a very good beer. It's a very easy beer as well. Super light IPA, has all of those big tropical fruit flavors, a little bit of bitterness. It doesn't kind of, by being as light as it is at 4.5%, doesn't really lose its boldness, I think. Obviously the Kokomo Weekend is a much bigger beer, a little bit fuller in its flavour, in its viscosity, in its feel, in its body. But as a standalone beer, Kokomo Weekday is just a very easy beer to drink that I think could very easily stand up against a lot of the staples that we get from kind of like high profile breweries. So this could kind of easily sit against something like New World IPA. It would blow something like Punk out of the water. It's doing something doing something slightly different, giving you slightly different flavors, but it feels to me like it's that level of beer. Like this could very easily go in on a supermarket shelf and be put out to a ton of people, because it's kind of it does have those very easy sort of flavors, and it's just a really nice beer. So I think, and again, that's why I wanted it to drink at my wedding. So it was a bit confusing when the woman who owns the venue came back to me and said, "Oh, hey, yeah, that'll be. You do realise I could never sell like an 8% IPA in my beer at my bar?" And I'm like, "Yeah, which beer do you think I mean?" And she'd gone to them to ask for prices for weekend rather than weekday. That was a pleasant conversation that I had to have to explain that there was two beers named very similarly.
But I mean,
Wedding
from what I recall, you've
problems.
had a handful of pleasant conversations.
Absolutely. So there are beers for this week. There are all the games we've been playing and the things that we've been thinking about.
I played a game.
Yay!
But
I
also,
played, like,
it had to be
recent
the game
game.
both of you had already played, so it's still functionally adding nothing.
You added something. You definitely added something. I'll hold off playing, games about licking your fingers and zingers and stuff like that. So,
Might have to be next week.
Just a game of life.
That's just a Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
We played
if people,
recent games as well, not games from 1994.
Yeah.
rehashed games from 1994 as well, mate.
Oh yeah, true. Link's
yeah.
Awakening is still.
Yeah. I think Gears 5 is just like Gears 1, which came out years and years ago.
Yeah.
So it's
And Wilmot's Warehouse is not really a game; it's a state of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Brilliant. Oh, so Aadil, if people want to join you on a Wednesday night for stuff, how do they do so?
I don't know. The Omniarch things. Yeah.
Good. Lucy, how do they join you?
I also don't know, but Juicy Loose 9 on all the things. I've barely been on Untapped, so don't.
Oh yeah, you might as well just delete the Omniarch on
And
tap.
Instagram, like just delete me on both those things. But yes, Xbox, Steam, PlayStation. You can read my review of Colonel Sanders dating sim, which I'm still going to go with the tagline. It's a zinger, so look out for that.
Good.
Next week.
And you, Ben?
And I'm at Nova_47. Almost everywhere. I chucked out a very quick article today all about the release date for The Last of Us 2, which was revealed at PlayStation State of Play, and how I'm feeling about The Last of Us 2. Don't watch it. You don't need to watch it.
I'm not gonna. I saw like reaction YouTube thumbnails. So I went on YouTube like, oh yeah, the
I'm looking forward to finally playing The Last of Us.
The first one.
Have you got
we're
PS
getting
Plus?
it for free.
We're getting
I
it
have
for free.
PS Plus right now, yeah.
Is it the Oh yeah, it's got to be the remaster.
The remaster, yeah.
It'd be funny if they put out the PlayStation 3 version.
Oh, that would be amazing. And like they actually
after
did,
cancelling PlayStation 3 games.
Oh yeah, they've already done.
Yeah,
that's a banger of a game.
Absolutely, I am looking forward to revisiting it. I've not played the remaster version, so.
Did it get a release date?
It did. It is the 22nd-ish round of February next year.
Oh god damn it!
So
couldn't wait till PlayStation 5.
Well, it will come out. The remastered version will come out.
I don't want to play it on PlayStation 4. It's too noisy.
It is. It's a week before Final Fantasy 7 remake as well.
Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, mate, it's going to be an expensive couple of weeks for me.
26th of February. There's too many goddamn games. Get rid of them all. Just cancel them.
Just cancel all games.
Yeah. Forget development costs.
Good.
Forget if it made you, millions of pounds. Oh god,
All those
jobs is going to smell of money, isn't it?
Get them doing something else.
It's going to reek of money, just like Uncharted 4, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I could smell the notes and the dollars.
So, if you'd like to join us on our quest to eliminate all games from society, you can get us all at Tanked Up Cast on Twitter, Tanked Up Cast on Instagram, which has been hugely ignored for the last few weeks.
I just remembered the shitty game take where it was like, Untitled Goose Game is catered for education.
Yeah. Oh, that is one of the best Twitter accounts. Now ex-CEO Kaz Harai is no longer tweeting. Shitty Gamer Takes is one of the better Twitter accounts. Absolutely. There are some zingers on there, definitely.
Yeah.
Also, everyone should go to outoflives.net, read all the articles we pick up, listen to all the other podcasts. Hopefully on Monday and Tuesday next week, I'm a little bit quiet. So, I'm going to do some streaming. And I still haven't picked up Telling Lies. So, I think I'm going to maybe play War Games.
Right.
Because it does now work on my machine. So,
nice.
No, that is.
I'm going to try that first.
Intrigued.
Yeah. You could tune in, Lucy, while you're at work.
Yes, because we're not allowed phones out. We're under surveillance state, martial law. And that's all I'll say about that. Because nobody knows where I'm working, so I'll get fired for saying that.
Exactly. So it's probably good that we finish right now. We've been tanked up. Bye.
Ta-da.
Ciao.
Got that ASMR at the beginning. Oh.
I don't actually know what the ASMR sounds are.
www.outoflives.net